Hello and welcome to another edition of your favourite podcast, Insane in the Membrane.
Insane in the Membrane.
Welcome everybody. It's that time again. Insane in the Membrane. I love this. I love doing this podcast. It's good. It's good getting in your ears. I'm in your ears. I love that. Nice to be in your ears. You could do clean them out though. Get some. I don't know. That's the thing. What do you clean them out with? Because they said that cotton buds are not good for you. But what else is there? You can't let it build up. I don't know. Tip a hot kettle of water in there. I don't know. Anyway, I just said I ran out of cotton buds the other week, and then I got some after a couple of days, and then oh my god, candles came out. Candles. Anyway, let's you know what we have to do first before we get into the admin. Before we get into the show is the admin. Sorry. That's what we have to do. So the admin, here we are. And what we want you to do, this would really help us out. We want you to become a Patreon. That's it. That's what you want to do. That helps us keep the lights on. Become a Patreon. And with that, you get exclusive access to over 50 archive interviews and early access to our studio cam filled interviews. So yes, there are videos. If you want to see them before everyone else, become a Patreon. So go to patreon.com/membrane podcast or through the Linktree link in the podcast description and all of my social medias. It's all in the bio. So you'll see it. It'll say Linktree. Just click on that. That takes you to everything that we do, from my website to all the social media stuff, to booking producer Paul as your producer. Oh yeah, that's a thing. You can do that. So yeah, click on the link tree. That'll take you there. Become a Patreon, right? It's only a couple of quid a month, and that helps us keep this podcast going. That's all we want you to do. So do that for us. That would be great. And like we say, you get exclusive access to over 50 archive interviews and early access to our studio cam filled interviews. Oh yes, what's not to love? So, what have I been up to? Oh, just the usual really. Running around, making people laugh. Getting on top of my admin. I sorted out my car stuff. That got sorted out eventually. It just became such a big deal. The car, because it was a finance car, and then it didn't work. It broke down, and then all this stuff. I was like, it built up in my head. And then when I spoke to people, they were all like, "Oh no, that's fine. We'll just have the car back. You just pay off what you owe, and then that'll be it." I was like, "Oh, why didn't I do this ages ago?" So that's what happened. Got that sorted out, and then it's amazing once you talk to people. And I'm one of the ones that I'm always like, you got to talk to people. When you actually do it, my God, does your world change? Honestly, just by talking to people, it's amazing, isn't it? Who knew? So yeah, that was dealt with. I got all that out of the way. And then the gigs, I'm smashing the gigs. I'm on a roll. I'm having a great time. So if you see me anywhere, come and see me. Come and see me on a bill. If you see me on a bill or a poster or like that, come along. Come and see me. I'm having a great time, and you'll have a great time in my company because I'm bloody funny. Oh yeah. Anyway, so this week's episode, my guest is the brilliant Mike Cox. I've gigged with Mike a few times. We get on. We have a nice time, and then he's a good lad, very funny boy, a brilliant comedian. We've never really had a proper chat before. Not a proper. We're at gigs. And sometimes the gigs are a little bit weird, and so there's a weird kind of camaraderie between you. You kind of like it solidifies your friendship almost. Like that's the thing with comedians. When you go through a shitty gig, a hard gig, you kind of like, we will always have this moment where we bonded in this weird time. And Mike and I have had that, and he's a good lad. And it's a real pleasure to talk to him, because he's like me, working class, and we have same sort of outlook on things, and it was a really nice chat, and he's a nice guy. And through these conversations, because like I say, we only see each other at gigs, it's really nice to get to know people on a different level, and they open up to you on this podcast, and it's nice to know. You go, oh shit, I thought you were pretty solid and you're just that, but you've still got your own insecurities, which is the same for most people. Everyone goes through different things, don't they? Like some days you feel more confident than others. Sometimes, we're all the same. We're all ebbing and flowing, and we're moving around. No one's really properly sorted. Everyone's got something going on at some point or other, and then sometimes you have a bit of calm. It's this whole part of being a human being, and that's why I love talking to these people, and that's why I love talking to Mike Cox. He's a top dude, and you're going to have a great time listening to him. So coming up in a minute is Mike Cox.
A podcast from producer Paul.co.uk.
Insane in the Membrane.
Mike, sorry about the delay today, mate.
No worries, mate. Train's cancelled, was it?
Fucking, how does anyone get in and out of Brighton? I don't get it. Every time I try to leave or go,
Yeah.
they just, 2 trains on the bounce, cancelled. And they go, oh, well, good luck.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's it, innit? They get fined for everyone that's late. So they just go, definitely we won't be late if it's not there. Fuck it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
go, fuck it. It keep coming up going, there's not enough staff.
Yeah, well, there might be a case for that. But there's also, one of the things that they get fined for every late train. So if they know it's going to be late, they'll just cancel it because it's cheaper.
My God. And we all just stood there like lemons. It's funny because I was told to get the bus. They said, because I was coming here at Tunbridge Wells, and they'll get the bus, mate. You're better off getting a bus. It's straight through. It's a couple of hours, but you'll have plenty of time to do whatever. I know, old fucking Johnny knows more. I'll get the train. It's better.
Yeah,
Idiot.
it has to be a pretty extreme circumstance to willingly get on a bus, doesn't it?
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a working class thing where we feel, because we grew up on buses, so we're like, I don't know. It feels a little bit not beneath you. I used to drive buses, so I don't know. I don't know
The thing
what
is,
it
you know
is.
what sort of bus? It's always loud kids with music, or like dangerous people.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Yeah, and the further you go into the day, the more dangerous the people get.
Yeah.
I remember I remember being a bus driver, and I pulled up at a bus stop, and this fella in a big old Mac got on. This was in the evening, and he paid his money and he went upstairs. And then the next bus stop, these 2 coppers got on, these 2 plainclothes coppers, and they put their ID on the perspex and went, wait here. And then they went upstairs and they got the fella. He had a machete under his coat. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I did, because it was raining, so I thought, yeah, bloke's going to have a coat on.
Yeah, of course.
But they were so cool, and they must have been following him or something, because they were so cool and calm. And they've obviously gone, we'll go to the next bus stop, not to cause and I just, you don't know. Buses, but with trains, doesn't really happen, does it? You don't get people wandering about with weapons. I don't know, the train from Liverpool Street to Leon Sea. That's a moody old train.
I don't know. The train just has like a stigma of business attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the bus, not so much.
No, I know. It's funny. Yeah, no one's. I'll get the bus. I'll get a few emails done.
Yeah.
You're just trying to hang on to your belongings, isn't you?
Yeah.
Try not to get connect eyes with some lunatic with no shoes on.
Yeah, that's it.
No, mate. How you been anyway? You all right?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, not too bad.
Nice, mate. Right, this is it, by the way. We just get into it.
Cool.
I do all the intros later on and all that. But
Yeah.
How's things? Good. You all right?
Yeah, just plugging away. You know what it's like. Just fucking constantly looking for gigs. Like, begging for gigs. Please remember me. Do you remember a few years ago when I gigged and it went all right? And they go, no.
You got to come. We haven't seen you for a while. You got to come back and trial for. Although I had the opposite today, yesterday. So last night, someone messaged me and they went, "Oh, you doing this gig in Welling, Wedding Garden City?" I'm like, "Oh my God!" And I looked and I'm on the bill. I'm like, "Oh my God, have I done it again?" So I'm always fucking up my diary.
Yeah.
Oh, have I done it again? I'm like, I don't remember even booking this in. And I couldn't find it. I even had to put out a thing on Facebook going, does anyone know who books this? And then I found it. It was our mate, Math Brown. I remember him ages ago. And he'd gone, can you do this gig? And I went, no, mate, I'm busy. I'm really sorry. And then he went, that's all right. He goes, look, I'll put your name forward anyway. So if you do end up in the listings, don't panic. And I totally forgot he'd said that. It's the worst, isn't it? When you forget, when you double book yourself. Oof.
I've only ever forgotten a gig once.
Yeah.
And that was like, I think I just got either the wrong day or the wrong week. And I remember sitting at home and I put the kids to bed and I just get a message from someone who goes, how far away are you, mate? I'm sat on the sofa in my football shorts just having my dinner. And I'm like, what do you mean how far away? And I see who sent it and I look and I go, oh, shit.
No.
And they basically just had to swap. Because it thank God, wasn't too far away from where I live. It was about an hour. They just moved it around and I made it. And I was just like, I'm so sorry, mate.
Oh, mate.
But that's the closest.
I've had it when Jared Christmas messaged me and said, where are you? He was at this comedy store. And he said, where are you? And I went, I can't remember where I was. I was up north or something. And he went, you're supposed to be on at the store tonight. doing an open spot or something like that. I shit myself, and he got it wrong. Luckily, he got it wrong.
Oh, he got it wrong.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck. You just feel all your insides just fall out your body.
Yeah, and you suddenly just go, well, that's it. I might as well give up comedy.
I might as well give up comedy.
Yeah, they're never going to book me. That will spread. They'll all find out I did this.
I went to the extreme last night. I was like, do you know what? Maybe it's just easier to just kill myself. Because I would stop fucking my diary up then. I'm like, what are you thinking about? What's wrong with you? Why's it got to be that?
Yeah. I mean, that will solve a lot of problems.
Yeah. Then I won't have to worry about trains getting cancelled. I have to worry about the kids. It's mad how your brain goes to that point or goes to extremes, and you go, and you have to sort of like pull yourself back and go, what are you doing? Like, I know my brain's just mucking around, but what a place to go to.
I sometimes wonder if it's almost like your body just going like, this is a complete shit show. Let's just read that.
Yeah, like reboot. You just go, we'll just switch it on and off again.
Yeah. But what it doesn't realise is you don't come back on again.
But that's it. You can't comprehend what it must be like to not be here anymore.
Yeah.
So it just goes, oh yeah. And I think that's a lot of, like, suicide comes up a lot on here. And people, I think that's what it is. Your brain kind of goes, look, just do that, and then that pain will stop, and then you'll come back, and we just carry on. And I think that's where a lot of people go to in those extremes. I don't think, because I can't comprehend. I mean, people say when you're dead, it's like you're asleep, so it's the same thing. You're not aware of.
Yeah.
But I can't get my head around it, like not being here anymore.
I know. I think about that a bit. Yeah. Like now, I've got 2 kids now, and I just I cannot ever imagine, as hard as my life would get, that I would leave them.
Yeah.
And I've had like points in sort of more recent years where I've just gone, this is hard. Like, have I got to do this every day for the rest of my life? and then you see them and go, actually, it'll be harder for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky to have that mindset, because obviously when other people are affected by it, their mindset is they're better off without me.
Yes.
Whereas I don't think that.
You arrogantly think that, they're better off.
Yeah, as hard as it is, everyone will be gutted.
Is your mic? Hang on a minute. What is that?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
Mike's got some microphone issues, I think.
Mate, it's just the beauty of technology. We're supposed to be in the future, and yet it still fucks us over.
Well, that's what tech is, isn't it? I feel that tech is just go like, right, does it sort of work? Get it out there. The sheep will buy it, and then when it goes wrong, they'll let you blame themselves, or they'll pay for us to fix it.
Yeah. And we'll when they say like, oh, we've updated the systems and all that, you go, well, why did you do that before? Why are you updating it? Yeah,
and you go like, oh, what Android version are you on? I was like, I don't know. You ever look at it? It's like 29 or whatever. I don't know what it is. But like, I mean, I feel like I only updated it 2 weeks ago. Why can you not have waited? Or I don't know.
I find it when it's where I know we need it, but it's I don't know. I think we've got enough now. That's what annoys me, and that's not me just being an old curmudgeon. It's like, I love technology. I'm not one of those people who go, oh, I'm a bit of a technophobe. You go, just send a fucking email, Grandad. But, I don't know how to do that. It's just, just a text, mate, right? But I think we've got enough now. Like, TVs are just as good they're better than the cinema was when we were kids.
Yeah.
Or when I was a kid, definitely. And, we've got enough now. It's like, why don't we focus now on actual people rather than trying to get as much money out of people as possible?
Some of the tech is pointless as well. I've got my TV's a few years old now, but it's got the camera on the top where if you want to put the volume up and down, what you do is you raise your finger and you turn it like that, and then the menu comes up, and then you use your finger and you just go like that, and it raises the volume. Right? How is that any easier than just picking a remote up and doing that? Like, it's not, is it?
There's got to be a reason why it's getting to this. I don't know. But they're like Bill Burr said, they're fucking up to something.
Yeah.
Something's going on. Because like, why do you need that? And that? Why has it got to be? We're going to I think they want it to be like Minority Report, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, should we see what's on the iPlayer? With the little gloves and that.
Yeah, that was it. You'd be shouting at, babe, where's the telly gloves? I've only got one of them, like other mitts. I've only got one of the telly. Where's the other telly glove? I told you to put them back by the telly.
Yeah, I've got the rewind one. I need the fast forward one.
Oh, you kids, have you been fucking around with the telly gloves again? They've been cooking with them in the kitchen. They're like, you... I don't know.
Touch these. These are Daddy's gloves.
Pink ones for the wife.
Yeah. What did you get for Christmas? Just got some bespoke telly gloves. I love Daddy on them.
Oh yeah, a pint of beer like embroidered on the back of them. Oh God! But that, I mean, yeah, you're right. I do love technology, and I'm like, it blows my mind about Alexa and things like that. Like I said yesterday to my missus, and I said, we're in the car, and she asked me a question, and I went, I don't know. And she went, oh, you're fucking useless as Google. I went, look, I know you're used to just asking the sky asking the sky questions, but you're in the car now. These bloody kids.
Yeah, they don't know they're born, these young'uns.
How do you find it all? Because how old are your kids now?
So my oldest is 5.5, and my youngest will be 3 in August.
Wow. How are you finding it? Because now they're finding out about themselves and about the world around them. And
yeah, so like, don't worry too much about my youngest. So she's obviously still like that age where she's just bundling about, not really like. But my son, I worry about him all the time because he's like quite, he's very emotional. Right. He's like a very gentle boy, and but he also just wants to be everyone's friend. And like, my fear is like, not everybody's like you. And you'll go off and you'll end up trying to be people's friends, and then you'll end up getting hurt. Whereas as you're a bit older and you develop that wall of cynicism, you're just like, you're going to have to earn it if you even want me to say hello to you. I mean, like, now he's just like when he was a bit younger, he'd walk along and he'd go, hello. And then somebody would just ignore him. Like, who ignores a child?
What? Oh, not, yeah, what?
Yeah. And he would go, they didn't say hello to me.
Oh, mate, my heart.
Yeah, and I just go, that's what some people are like, mate. That's what they're like.
God. Saw your life out, mate. It's fucking hard out there.
Yeah, if you can't cope with this, son.
Mate, there's no hope
long
for
hard
it.
slog for you.
I was the same, though. I was always saying hello to people, and I had this... when I was younger, I did have this need to be liked by everybody. And when I was a manager of a bar. And I remember the owner saying, mate, he goes, you can't be friends with everybody. You got to, because things would get done, the work would get done, and the bar was great, but it was still a case of me, I'd rather they liked me rather than being a bit of a prick manager.
Yeah, I'm the same as well. And it's parts of my career as a trainer. I found, not a personal trainer, as you'd say if you ever met me physically, but
that was a while ago.
Teacher of things, that I always try to be sort of like everyone's mate, but then it makes it a bit harder. So I had to develop this thing where, like, if I was training someone, I'd be like, I'll be cool with you, but the moment like you put me in a position where I have to tell you off, then I'll switch on you. And that can throw people. It makes you feel weird when you have to do it.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just do it occasionally than have to sort of that be part of my personality.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I tell you what as well, this comes up a lot lately in conversations. When it's someone else that's being an arsehole, their behaviour is shit. Like all the time, you're like, oh fuck, why are they like this? And then you put up with it for a while, and then you turn around and you go, oi, can you stop? You're being a fucking dickhead. Yeah. And that's when they go, and then you become the arsehole. And they go, oh, what's wrong with you? You're not normally like that. You're like, no, because I put up with it up to a point. Yeah. And now you've pushed me to a point where I have to unleash this shit. And now I feel bad.
Yeah. So that's what it was like as a trainer. Like, sometimes you'd have somebody do something. So basically, I used to train people to be police officers.
Right.
And, I don't know what it was, but these people were adults, right? And they would
suddenly... You were a police officer as well. You weren't just like...
Oh, yeah, I was. Yeah,
I was going to say, you weren't just like, I'll do that. I'll teach you how to do that.
Yeah. Well, basically, that's what Twitter is, isn't it? Just people telling the police how they should do their job. But so I was a police officer for a while, and I would train. I moved into the training department, and I trained various ages, but sort of early 20s was the most. And they would like revert back to like being in school, and you'd have to go around and you go, "Come on, mate, this is like a disciplined service. Fold your sleeves down. You don't work at Hollister." Do you know what I mean? You'd have to do that a lot. And I'd say to people at the beginning, this is a uniform service. You have to, present yourself in a certain way. whilst you're here in training school, I do not want to at any point have to pull you aside and pull you up on the way you've dressed yourself. So you're an adult and I don't feel good pulling you aside and saying you're not dressed properly. So please don't put me in that position. And then they would, and I'd go, right, fold your sleeves down, polish your boots or whatever.
Yeah.
And then later on, like, they just ignore you again and you just have to go, right, in here now.
Yeah.
Come in. Like, I had it literally recently where a former student of mine came to a gig and we had a bit of banter in the front row. So it was quite an intimate gig. So it was all right to just tell everyone what he was and how we knew each other. And then he goes, oh yeah, then you went off and told the sergeant that I called you a wanker, you grass. And I went, why do you think that is? You can't be in the police telling your trainer that he's a wanker. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just don't get it.
Yeah. You're not at the flats now, mate. It's not the estate.
Exactly. As much as I'm all right with banter, like, as a person, I still represent a certain hierarchy in the job.
Yeah.
So I have to tell you if you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. That's my job. Don't save it up. Wait till I've left the police for a year, then come after me with it.
What made you want to be a policeman?
Money.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you know what? That's interesting. There's a American comic. I don't know if you've heard of it, Kyle Kinane.
Yeah.
And he's got this bit, and he talks about. He goes, there's certain kinds of police officers, and there's the ones that you'll come across every now and again. The ones that are like, oh well, it pays more than a post office, and I get a gun. It's like, so that was it. He just went, I need a job, need some money. Yeah.
My mum always said you'd be really good at it. And I was just like, no way. I ain't doing that. I'm not being no scummy old Bill. No way. And then I went into, I worked in insurance for a year. I did forklift driving for a year. Right. And then my dad worked over in Hove, and he saw that there was an advert for driving prison vans. Okay. And it paid about $5,000 a year more than it did forklift driving. And I figured it's similar sort of thing, innit? Just driving around lumps. So I...
yeah, pretty much same thing.
Yeah, same thing, innit?
It's all logistics, mate.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And I went and did that. And I did that for about 3 years. And while I was there, I just listened to the way that criminals spoke about people or life and stuff like that. And I just thought... these are some of the worst people that you've ever met. Like, I would deal with, I'd be moving murderers and paedophiles and stuff like that. And there's a lot of lad culture that thinks that they're like, oh, prisoners, we're all the same. You're not. There are lads who do some silly stuff, and then there are disgusting people. Yeah. And then when I separated the two, and one of the things that really stuck in my mind that prompted me, I was taking 4 prisoners into Lewis, and on the radio, we're listening in. And there was a story where somebody had tried to intervene in something, and he'd been basically killed. He'd been stabbed to death or beaten up. And they all just that's what you get. That's what you get for trying to be a hero. And it's you lot are just completely broken. And that's when I thought, maybe I could do the police. Maybe it's definitely more money. Maybe I am cut out because I'd got used to being around them sort of people. Yeah. And then I went and did it for a bit. When I got there, I realised that I don't have the commitment that it requires to do the role.
It's full on, isn't it? It's just, you're never off, are you?
No, you're never off. So you're expected to get involved in things even when you're off duty. Which, if you suddenly get a second career like I did, it's not really beneficial if you're on your way to do a open spot somewhere in London. You see something on a train. I'm not missing my open spot to go and deal with that. You know what I mean? It starts to stress you out a bit.
It must have been hard, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously your day job has to take priority. So when you're doing shifts, it took me such a long time to get anywhere when I started comedy because I was doing shift work. You could only do 2 gigs a month. Yeah. For years. So you don't get anywhere doing that. So I spent so much time just treading water. Yeah. Just trying to get on spots, trying to have people remember who you are because it's not anywhere. And you have to get momentum. So that's how I ended up in training, really. I just kept trying to go for jobs where I could have evenings and weekends off. And that's just how I ended up there.
I see.
Yeah.
Must be hard because especially now there's a huge spotlight on the police. Mm-hmm. And now they've got that, what was it? I saw the other day. They're basically they're being heavily scrutinised.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, the Met have gone into special measures, apparently, because of their handling. I don't really know what that's all about. I know that it's that the mayor has raised some issues about how the Met are operating and stuff. The difficult thing is that there's thousands and thousands and thousands of police officers, right? Yeah. And there are some bell ends.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there are, right? But I was policing in Hampshire, which is obviously a completely different culture. But I know for a fact that other coppers don't tend to turn a blind eye to stuff.
No.
Right? There's this accusation that's always levied at cops. They always look after each other. Right? You might get a couple of people that know each other really well, perhaps say like, where was I? I saw somebody once, it was a sergeant, and he'd been spat on, and he gave the prisoner a little dig. Now, no one said anything like outside of that circle, but people said to him, you can't do that, mate. You can't do that. And he was like, yeah, so I just lost it because he spat at me.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't like everyone went, yeah, held him down and kicked him in. He got pulled up on it. It just, it wasn't reported.
No.
Whereas you also get people, I know where people you're working with them and they go, can I have a word? And they've been pulled in the office and 3 people have gone, we saw you do something bad, you're being investigated now. And that happens loads. Where people just don't tolerate bad behaviour from police officers. So this idea that the whole thing's corrupt is a misnomer.
Right. Yeah. It's like all jobs, isn't it? There's going to be good and bad.
Yeah.
And I think I've got a mate of mine who's in the force, and it was all kicking off a little while ago, and he was going, I just want to have my say. I'm like, I know you do, but I don't know how you do that, because everyone's so up in arms about, they're just blaming the police force for the Black Lives Matter thing, and then this. I mean, and I don't know what the answer is to that, but yeah, you're right. There's good and bad in them, and it's.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it must be like if you're one of the good ones, and you want the best for people, because you can't do your job properly because you're so restricted by bureaucracy and red tape and.
Yeah, it's so hard. When you turn up and you want to make a difference, and then you're stuck with some of the you're having to do your job with your hands tied behind your back. There's certain things you can and can't do, or the paperwork that gets involved with it, and the criticism, scrutiny. By all means, if somebody wants to take on the role of going around telling people how to live their lives and stuff like that, then by all means their decisions should be scrutinized. But sometimes you just have to make the best of a bad situation to then have that decision that you just tried your best to worry that on Monday morning you could be in trouble because of something that you thought was the best thing to do at the time. So you're putting your head on a chopping block, really. Yeah. Even though you're trying your best, somebody else, in a few days' time when the dust has settled, gone, oh, do you know what? I would have done that differently. And now you're getting that I found was quite stressful.
Yeah. So now you're out.
Yeah, now I'm out. Yeah, I've been gone nearly a year now.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I bet is it a relief?
Yeah, honestly, such a relief. I spent a long time. So talking about that criticism thing.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time, whenever you get that criticism or you read it in the paper or, you see this thing trending on Twitter, I felt like I was taking that personally for a long time. I felt like when people go, the police are this, police are racist. People don't see you as a person.
No.
When you've got a uniform or a badge and stuff. You're just the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
You got no individual thoughts, which I do, but you're not. When you're a police officer, you're not allowed to tell people your viewpoints on politics or whatever. No. So when people are just going all police are racist, all police are this, all police are that, they all protect each other, and you're just sat there going that's nothing like what it is. Won't somebody say something to tell them that's wrong? Yeah. And I found that quite stressful. So now I'm out of it. I feel much more comfortable. So if let's say I'm on Twitter and I see somebody spouting off something inaccurate, I will always go, that's not how it is in my experience. And I'll try, I get a ton of abuse, but I don't care anymore. But most people, there is a community building up on Twitter where there's a lot of anonymous police accounts because people don't want to put their face to stuff,
right?
Because they can get fired. That's just saying this is actually the reality of it. This is, why that comment is wrong. This is what somebody should have said about this. And there's an encouragement for senior officers to stand up for those police officers that are getting filmed and having their clips edited so they look like they're, there's 5 of them on a person. Look at this police brutality. Well, that clip was it's 5 minutes shorter than it should have been. It doesn't show the geezer attacking someone with a shovel. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So that's what I found quite difficult about society. Is just this constant want to, disband, get rid of the police. They're not you're not worthy.
Yeah. And then what would you do?
Well, basically, yeah. If you haven't got the old bill, the people need to realise is that, you know, when they say, "Oh, you know, if the police weren't there, it'd be fine." No, you need to understand how many awful people are not doing stuff to you because the police are there.
I know what you mean. Having met proper naughty people, there's just like you hit it on the head when they're like we've all got mates that dabble in this and that, and they muck it. You know, they're like low level idiots. But when you meet someone who's like proper naughty, like they're proper gangsters or they're proper, you're like, oh fuck yeah, they just have a look in their eye, like having met someone that's killed someone, and you go, oh, you can just see it's a different level of criminality that you go, I never want to be around those people, not ever. It's you know, having met someone I used to know, and they were heavily involved in some stuff, and he was my mate, but if it came down to it, he'd chop your fucking head off if he had to, and you're like, whoa, that's something else. Yeah. And
I bet his version of having to is like a very low threshold.
Yeah. I can imagine it don't take a lot.
Why'd you cut his head off? He took my last Rizzler.
Yeah. Told him to step on my trainers, they were new. So now you're out. You're out there, Force. Now you're a full-time comic. Different stresses and strains. More the money thing, really, I imagine, rather than, you know. But
yeah, it's hard. And just the culture of gigs getting pulled last minute because audiences aren't going. Yeah.
It's a funny old time at the minute. It's all... There's some gigs that are thriving. There are some that people are just going, they're just not going. And, you know, it's a tricky time. How do you find it? Like, you were talking about being a parent, and they're young kids as well. And I found that I was a kid when I had my own kids, but I did find immediately that my worldview changed. All of a sudden, I was more aware of shit, things, and I wanted to be more protective. And that was 30 years ago. So how does it feel now when it just seems like there's just war and upset? And how does that make you feel?
Long term, I guess. Well, I haven't really thought about like what climate change might be for them or what the planet might be like.
Make sure they can swim.
Because I feel like I can't compute how bad that will be. No. Like people keep saying it, well, you know, it'll be awful, and you know the sea levels will rise. But I mean, fortunately, my wife's mum and dad live in Barnsley, so if the sea levels do rise, they're going to have a lovely little seaside property in South Yorkshire.
So Barnsley, man, love that.
So I don't really know what that's going to look like. Yeah, I worry for them. You know when they're going to be left with this absolutely boiling planet. But I can't compute how that is. I spend more time worrying about whether or not I've put them at the right school, whether or not I'm taking them to my son. I try to get him into things that I'm into, but he's not. Like, I like football.
Yeah.
He likes dressing up as female characters from cartoons.
Excellent.
Like, there's not much I can do about that. And then I think, so how do I I worry about what do I do with that? How does it make
you feel? Because it's, you know, like we've still got old school things pumped into us. So we're transitioning as well. I'm not saying that he's transitioning once, but it's a whole new world to us. Whereas when we were growing up, I'm a lot older than you. So when I was growing up, and if I put a dress on or I put on my mum's shoes, it'd be, what are you doing? Why are you fucking around with that?
Yeah.
It'll be a bit more like, it'll be slapped down. Whereas I imagine now, those old school things are still there, but you're aware that it's wrong to.
Yeah. So I don't. Like, I've got no issue with him doing that, because the way I see it is it's only the child mimicking the heroes that they see on television, and we have probably got a lot better at having female heroes. So like, you know, when he's seen Frozen and he loves it, he wants to dress up as Elsa, just the same as I imagine some young girls like dressing up as I don't know, Robin Hood, Peter Pan, that type of stuff. So I've got no issue with it. Like, he likes dressing up as the witch from Room on the Broom. Well, that's the main character from a cartoon he likes. So
there you go.
Yeah, I'm not alarmed. My worry is how the rest of the world sees him.
That's interesting.
So like, he'll go to me, oh, can we go to the shops? And I look at him dressed as a little witch, and my wife's bought him little like Cuban heeled boots, so he looks like so he's got like the proper gear. And then I look and go, what? How are we going to be received if I go to the shop with him like that?
Isn't it funny? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not bothered about, what he wants. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I just worry that we'll go out and one of his friends who maybe does have that pressure sees him, and that's when bullying starts.
Yeah.
So I worry about that. Or people just going like, have you seen how he lets his kid dress? He's a wrong un for doing that. Like, I don't know if anyone would say that, but I worry about that.
Yeah, of course you do. You worry about how we're perceived and how it's because even though we might be a bit more open-minded and a bit more progressive, there's still a lot of people that aren't. And,
of course,
and are willing to judge you. Yeah, you're right, man. I hadn't thought about that before. Fucking hell, it's a minefield, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just want your kids to grow up happy and safe, and but you got to deal with other people.
Yeah, like the other day, his grandma bought him these pajamas, like they're striped with tigers on them, and he absolutely loves them. And we wanted to go to the supermarket, and he goes, "Can I wear this?" And he comes up to me. He's got these pajamas on. He's wearing his Batman slippers, and he's got this little sort of superhero eye mask on that is quite effeminate actually. As I was looking at it the other day, I was like, that's actually got a bit of flair on it. And he goes, "Can we go? I'm Tiger Boy." And I'm just looking at him thinking, oh, how do I tell him no, he can't go like that? And I was thinking, and I just thought, when we go to the supermarket, it will be fine. You might have some people going like, oh, what's that? Go, fuck them people.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing my son is going to remember is his dad telling him no, he can't be who he is.
Mate, yes.
And I didn't want to be that. And I just thought, if someone's going to be horrible to him, I want them to see that it wasn't me, it was them, and I'll deal with them in front of him. So he'll see that whatever he chooses, I'll support him and I'll defend him, and hopefully that he'll have a better memory of that than he would do of me saying to him on the stairs, "You're not going out like that."
That is so beautifully put. That's exactly it, mate. That's exactly the way. I hadn't thought of it like that because you're worried about what other people think. Yeah. So you're fucking right. That'd be you telling him no would be the thing he remembers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, of course. Because there's loads of things when I was growing up, and they're like, oh no, that's not what boys do. Boys don't do that. Boys don't do that. And and like boys are into football, and I tried to get into football because I thought I had to, but I just knew in my heart that's not what I was into. I didn't care. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah. Smashing that, Mike.
Oh, thanks, mate. That's a soundbite.
That's it, mate. Yeah, that goes on the poster. But it's hard, isn't it? It is hard. It's hard. How did you? So, did you always know you were going to be a dad, or you just kind of?
Yeah, I did. I always
wanted to be.
Always wanted to. Because you always hear that thing, don't you, about like you love your kids more than anything in the world. You just love them, they love you. And I just always thought to myself, how nice would it be to just have two people that just loved you no matter what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, I was always like, and I always wanted that. I've always been good with kids, always enjoyed, playing, whenever I was around other people's kids. My friends, a couple of my friends had kids a bit before I did. And I'd always find myself, whenever you go around anyone's house, I don't have any adult conversation. I'm sort of rolling about on the floor. I'm like, playing catch with them and stuff and that type of stuff. So I was always excited about doing that. I just didn't know how hard it was going to be. No,
instinct kicks in, doesn't it? So you're doing things that you didn't know that you could do when you have them. But there is that. Yeah, it's full on. Again, it's like when being a police officer. It's 24/7.
Yeah.
You have a moment where you having to lie down. All right, they're in bed. Right, we can have a bit of dinner. We can watch a bit of telly. But then they're up again, and you're off again, and it's constant. And it's like that until they get to be teenagers. And that's the other thing as well. That's what I learned, is that all that time I was worrying about them and their best interests, and they were like, "Oh, I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad." And one day they get to be teenagers, they're like, "Oh, fuck off, Dad. Don't need you now." And then you're sort of left going, "What do I do now? I don't know. I don't know what I like. I don't know what to do." Do you know what I mean? I think that's why you become great grandparents, because you've kind of made all the mistakes. Yeah, basically. Yeah. But it's hard, isn't it? And it goes quick as well. I would make the most of it because it goes quick, man.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot recently, actually, because already my boy's finished his first year at reception at primary school, and it just I haven't really paid a lot of attention to it. because you're trying to work and you're busy and you just drop him off to school and you do what the school asks every now and again. You go, and then before you know it, you're going, that's his first year gone.
Yeah.
So he's only got another, 5 at that school, and then he's on to another high school, by which time you don't get as much involved in your high school because, they can, you're less likely to take them and drop them off and stuff. And then before you know it, they've gone. So I am conscious of that.
Honestly, it goes quick. Like you've just said, you get that, you go, oh, they're just starting school. Oh, they're in primary school. Oh, they're just starting secondary school. That photo of them in their uniforms, or just off to big school. And in the blink of an eye, they're doing exams, they're getting jobs, they're going to uni, they're doing this. And you're like, I've just bought them school uniform. How the fuck is this happening?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're 30. Like my oldest is 30 years old. And I'm like, how am I a dad to a 30-year-old human man with a beard?
How old were you then when you had kids? Like 18 or something?
I was 20.
20?
Yeah. So I'm 50 now. But yeah, he's got a fucking beard. He looks like a proper Viking. He's like, both my sons are like 6'1", 6'2". And I look at them like, how did I make that?
Yeah. That's what my mum's like. My mum had me at 21. And
really?
Yeah, so she's 60, turned 60 this year. Last year, turned 60 last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned 40 this year.
Did you?
I will do in November.
I thought you were younger than that. Oh, mate.
Well, that's what happens when you don't do all the night shifts that the police want you to do.
Just crying in the services over the money you didn't get from a gig.
Yeah.
Instead. Have you got a good relationship with your parents?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. We, my mum and dad live in Kent.
Right.
Obviously, I live in Hampshire, so we've got a bit of distance between us. But that's only due to sort of work and life choices and stuff. I see my mum tons. She comes when she can, when I need a bit of extra help to look after the kids. Like, not as much as I'd like, but you have to book it in advance. And
Yeah.
And my dad, I have a great relationship. Like me and him, we bonded over football. Actually, going back to that point. Yeah, so me and him are both Arsenal fans, and so we basically start all of our communication with watching the game tonight, or missing, like I messaged him earlier on because there's some leaked footage about Gabriel Jesus who's coming to Arsenal.
Right.
And it's been like one of the most drawn out sagas. He's been coming for about 4 weeks. I think he came down the M6 on a milk float. Right? And I saw there was a clip that got leaked today. So straight away I messaged my dad and go, here, look, have you seen this? Have you seen this? So we bond a lot over football.
Yeah. Same with it's like my dad and I, it was music. That's how, because he took me to see my first band when I was 14.
Yeah.
And so there was always music on when I was growing up. So there was always records around. And so music, and even now, like he's 70, 75, 76? And even now we still talk about, I see the Damned have got a new album out, or this is happening, that's happening. It's always music.
Yeah.
Because that's how a lot of dads, there's something in there between dads and sons. There's that one subject that you talk, like you might go, how are you, Dad? He goes, yeah, fine. Did you see the Arsenal the other day and all that,
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? I was always worried. I was like, I wish we talked about more stuff. But then I'm like, at least we've got something.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And it's a way of them, it's a way of them showing that they love you.
Yeah. And I'm glad for that because my dad didn't have an easy upbringing and he's very much emotionally a closed book.
Yeah, same as mine, Dad.
Yeah, you don't, like, I don't tend to know how he really feels about many things.
I know when he's annoyed.
yeah, because I can't open my eye.
Cheers, Dad. All right, yeah, I'm sure I did something somewhere.
Yeah, I remember once when he touch the mic. I accidentally. I'd done something, and he went to do the dad thing when he went to slap my legs and go, "You've been naughty," and I pulled my legs up. And his hand ricocheted off my knee and he punched me in the face.
Oh, shit.
And my eyes swelled, and I've never seen a man look so gutted in my life.
Yeah.
Like, he'd lost his rag and went to give me a little beat around the legs, as people of that generation did, and just accidentally caught me in the face. And my eyes swelled up a bit, not much.
Yeah.
But I always remember seeing his face. He was just like, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah. Oh, God. It's funny. It's like, it was just how it was back then, and like people go, "Oh, you can't be eating your kids," and like you go, "No, of course not." But that's just how it was back then.
Yeah.
And I know, like my dad recently, he went, "Well, your mother and I never laid a finger on you." And I'm like, "What are you fucking saying?" I didn't say anything. In my head, I went, "What?" But I went, no, I know, Dad, you and Mum were always good. You know, you did this, you did that. Love it. And I'm like, what are you chatting about?
Yeah. What they mean is, I didn't hit you when I didn't need to.
That's it. Yeah. I didn't just go around beating you up for the sake of it.
Yeah, I wasn't getting a buzz out of it. It had to be done.
And I get it, because I was a difficult teenager for various reasons. And I do remember my mum and I were arguing. I might have said this on here before, but my mum and I were arguing, and she took a step back, and my brother's bed, because we shared a room, my brother's bed was low down, didn't have any legs on it, and she stepped back and fell on the bed. So I was standing, oh shit, Mum, shit, and I went to pick her up. My dad thought I'd pushed her over. And he came flying in the room, and he's got me on the floor. He goes, how dare you do that, Geoff? And then she's on his back going, he never did it, I fell over. And I think about that all the time. Like, oh, Jesus, that was a moment. But it was just how it was, wasn't it? I know people go, well, it shouldn't have been. You go, well, more often than not, it was with our generations.
Yeah, and I don't think that you ever, like, I mean, I've got the discipline smack a few times. And I'll be careful when I say that, because I don't want anyone to take that out of context. I never got a slap I didn't deserve.
No.
Like, I was out there pushing boundaries with, and my parents were young as well. My dad was 25, mum was 21.
Yeah,
and like,
same.
I think about how hard I find it now, and I'm like nearly 40. I've got a lot more experience than them, and yet I still find it hard. So you got two kids raising kids,
Mate.
Their frustration levels as they're looking around going, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
A couple of times when I'm dealing with my kids, they don't listen. I look at the wife and go, I've done everything I know how to do. Like, you need to come up with something, or the next thing is slapping, which I would never get to. But I understand how that culture, when people were having kids young, that they just, that frustration of, I don't know what to do, comes out. And I think because everyone else was getting beats, like everyone got slapped. You go, oh, my mum gave me a clip around here today. Yeah, same. I said this to my mum and she proper whacked me. Like, no one's going, oh, that's really awful that happened to you. It was happening to everyone.
Yeah. There was, I mean, now being a bit more, being grown up, and you talk about it, and some people went, oh yeah, I was just getting beaten left, right and centre for no reason. You go, oh shit, I didn't know. But the rest of us was pretty much, I think, because again, my dad had a shit upbringing. His parents were fucked. My nan was horrible, and I didn't even see her for years. I didn't see her. She's gone now. I didn't see her for like 15 years because I just couldn't connect with her. Just, you know, and so you've got, if that's who your role models are as parents. Yeah. And now I think back, I go, yeah, no wonder my dad was angry. Yeah. He had all that. He was unboxing all that shit while he was trying to deal with us, and he was a kid himself. So. Yeah.
So similar to my dad. Yeah, my dad. So he was born in Leeds, and his mum and dad split up on a Harrogate. He was born, and when his mum and dad split up, his dad moved down South Coast, and they stayed up in there. So he was living with his mum and his brother. And then one day, his dad decided he needs some help at home, so drives up. I don't know how old my dad was, 7 or 8 years old. Drives up to Yorkshire, says, "I'm taking that one." Brings him down south, and he lived down south. Yeah, just went and took him and drove down south. And he was making my dad look after his chickens. As a kid.
What the fuck? Yeah. Just went and got him, and I need some labour.
Yeah, I need some labour, so I just went and got him, stuck him in the garden looking after chickens.
Like a fucking scarecrow.
Yeah. And my dad would say to me, they would just leave me like a sandwich in a brown paper bag and a milk bottle full of tea, and I wasn't allowed in the house. They'd just leave it on the doorstep for me all day.
Oh my God.
And some of the other stories he's told me, like, so he had one toy that he really liked, which was this little, like, what are those, they're real worth a bit of money now, those little metal cars used to get pushed around.
Oh, what, like toy ones? Like
the toy ones, yeah. Dinky toys, something like that. Yeah. He had one of them. It was a motorcycle and sidecar. And he goes, it was the only thing I had. And he goes, and one day I was accidentally, I was playing with my dad's Zippo lighter and I broke it. And he goes, his dad just come in, put his bike on the floor and stamped on it, and basically said, yeah, that will teach you. It's 1-1 now, sort of thing.
Oh my God.
He used to get beat with a belt and all kinds of stuff. So when I think about how my dad's just like, he's probably dealing with all of that undealt with trauma, that, it's no wonder sometimes my dad would just shut down, because he goes, he doesn't even have a lived experience to compare it to.
No.
So the fact that my dad has achieved what he has in his life and raised 3 kids, and we're all doing perfectly fine, he needs to give himself a bit of credit, I think.
No, mate. Do you know what? I know over the years I've given my mum and dad stick, going, oh, you should have been more this, more that. But really, when I think about it, like you've just said, my dad had an awful time growing up. So for him to put a roof over our heads, him and mum, you know, they had their issues, but they both sorted it out and got you know, we had a half decent life. My God, yeah, you don't think of it like that, you know.
Yeah.
And hopefully the next generation, you know, our kids will grow up. It's funny with mine being older now. I was on Rob Beckett and Josh Widdicombe's podcast the other week.
Yeah.
And it's suddenly, as I was talking, I was like, oh yeah, you get an appraisal when they get older. You go, so how did I do?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you did all right. Because their mother and I broke up loads of times throughout the 90s.
Yeah.
So I always felt I could have been a better dad. But then I talked to them and I go, no, Dad, you were there. You were always there. We always knew you were there. You had your moments, but then all parents do.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice. You'll get that as well. You'll whatever you do as a parent, you'll probably get to a point where you go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, or I could have been better.
Yeah.
But they'll tell you.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time thinking about like things I used to moan about what my parents did. Like so we didn't have a great deal of money and we never really went on holiday or did anything like other people were doing. And I spent so much of my life going, we were really hard done by. We didn't get nothing. But like I'm comparing myself to people that have got parents with more money. Like, it's not like my parents let me down. They did what they could with what they had. It just, unfortunately, I lived around people whose parents had a bit more. But, you know, I can't blame my parents for that.
We didn't want for anything. When I think back, we had the latest toys. All right, I might not have had a Millennium Falcon, but I had the others.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, but I didn't have that. And my mate had all of them. And like, you fucking...
Yeah, yeah.
You still had stuff.
Yeah, I had all the Ninja Turtles. But my mate's gone on holiday to Lanzarote, and I was just like, why can't we go Lanzarote? Yeah.
We didn't have central heating growing up. Classic net curtains, like iced to the windows. You had to peel them off before school and all that shit. And I'm like, and then when I left, they got central heating, and they went, yeah, we couldn't afford it when you lived there. Yeah. I'm like, what was I doing that meant you couldn't afford it? Yeah. I was just wanking in my room.
Yeah, surely that was generating heat. Yeah,
exactly. My room was the hottest room in the house. If anything, you should have followed my mate. But all you could do is your best, innit? All you can do is your best.
That's it. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I think as long as you are like sort of sporadically taking stock of what you're doing and going, you know, am I going the right way? Do I need to be doing something different? You know, like I'm one of them people where I don't plan that far ahead. I'm a bit like an ant, whereas I'll just do what's in front of me instinctively. You know? And my wife's a big planner ahead, and I know it drives her mental that I don't do it. But I want to be better at that. So like because I want to be able to like take my kids to Florida and stuff like that, and you know, plan on how I'm going to save that and book it and all that type of thing. Whereas I just like look at them like, what's on this week, which I do, and you know, I'll email someone, get a gig. You want a gig in the future? Yeah, I'll have that, and I'll worry about that then. You know.
It's true though. I'm getting better at being organised. I've got a physical diary that I always write shit down in. I never look at the fucking thing, but I've got it. I bought whiteboards. I was like, right, get the whiteboards on the wall and then write down your week. Yeah. They're still in the cellophane on the side.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, that's them.
Completely blank whiteboard.
Yeah, that's the same. That's what I'm
basically sat in the corner of this kitchen since I bought it. We got bought off Amazon. There we are. Just fell on the skybox. Yeah,
that's the same. I've got two of them. The only thing I've done on one of them is play Hangman when I was off my head.
What, against yourself?
No. I was with someone. I was just on my own. Oh, I wonder what this word is.
Yeah. Why am I not getting this? It's
so weird. Why am I not winning? I don't understand. Hangman again. What the fuck?
Yeah, then you start thinking, is this a message?
Yeah.
Another suicide message.
Oh God. But have you got, you know, people you could talk to? Do you feel that you need to? Do you feel you need to sort of talk to people sometimes?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I find it hard to talk about it. Like for me, it takes me a long time to realise when something's wrong. Like
right.
I tend to. So what's happened to me before? So when my daughter was born, so obviously I was doing comedy and policing at the time, and we obviously had my son who was 2.5 when she was born, and that's when I first had like a proper wobble, Whereas I've just gone like, I'm doing too much. Like,
Right, yeah.
And I felt like I couldn't remember how I'd been with my eldest. So I was looking at it thinking, oh my God, I've forgotten everything I'm meant to do. What am I meant to be doing right now? And then you're thinking like, oh, I've still got to do that. I've got to do that. And I'm just pulling myself in too many directions. So that's when I just had to have I had a month where I just went, I need to just stop doing everything and just focus on being a dad.
Yeah.
And it took me a little while before, because I'd come home from work and I'd just be sat there and Jen would be like, you're right. And I'd go, I'm not, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I felt like this just unbelievable amount of pressure, but I couldn't just identify what it was. And that's, I tend to find that my worst stages are when I've got too much going on and I just feel like I'm pulled in too many directions.
Yeah. Does get to you, and then what happens is you can't do any of the things to your best ability because it's too much.
Yeah.
So then you start worrying that you're letting people down.
Yeah. And
it becomes this spiral, and you're just like, yeah, and then you just feel shit about yourself, like you're not good enough.
Yeah.
You're a fucking waste of time, and it's you just that being able to go, if you can, being able to say to people, do you know what, I can't do that just now, but I'll be able to do it later. I've got a couple of things on, but once I've done them, I could probably help you out with this, or I could do, being able to sort of, because we all do it. We all go, oh yeah, all right, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that, and we just fuck ourselves up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I always, again, bit down to being a people pleaser.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. It's exactly that, mate.
I always think so. If I say no, then they're just going to think I don't want to do it.
Yeah, and they're going to hate me.
Yeah.
And being hated by people, oh God. I mean, there must be people out there that think I'm a dickhead.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's full on hate. I don't know. One person might hate me for she can get in the bin. But
yeah. The thing is, though, it's weird, isn't it? Like when you are when you do have things that put you out there, like obviously your podcast or your comedy or there are just people that will just say horrible things to you. They'll hate you. And I get that. I've messed about like chucking clips on TikTok and all that kind of thing. And you're guaranteed to get somebody underneath go, you're a prick.
Yeah, all the time.
You're shit. And it's like, oh, fuck off, will you?
Don't ever read the comments. I made that mistake. Vauxhall Comedy Club put a clip up of me. Yeah. And I didn't think anything of it. And then they messaged me and went, it's gone off on TikTok, just so you know. I went, oh, all right. And then I had a look. I'm like, fucking hell, that's all right. And then read the comments. I started reading the comments and I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? There was one fella, he went, this bloke's as funny as a fart in a spacesuit. And I went, well, at least I wrote this and not nick this off of fucking Billy Connolly.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? Let people have their whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And that's we all know the reason why they do that. It's because they wish they could.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why else do you have an opinion on it?
Yeah.
Like whenever I watch those, and there's viral clips on everything and anything. If I watch somebody skateboarding, I never go underneath and go, that was a shit kickflip. I don't give a monkeys. I don't give a monkeys about skateboarding, nor do I want to do it.
No.
But, the things that you feel strongly about are the things that you wish that you could do. So when you're watching someone, you think, oh, I could probably do that, or I wish I could do that. You want to put that person down to make yourself feel better about it. Like,
Yeah.
If I think they're shit, I need them to know, because the fact that they think they can do it when I should be doing it. Go and do it then. That's not helping you, that comment. Go and fucking do it.
Exactly.
You shitty little melt.
It's true, isn't it? It's this. You're bang on. It's like they feel bad because they're not trying to do it, so they're trying to bring everyone down that is doing it.
Yeah.
You're like, mate, if you just go and have a bash,
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? You're shit.
Yeah. The worst can happen is that we film it, put a clip out, and we tell you everyone you're a wanker.
And that's comedy, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone in between.
Yeah. Because that's probably a genuine reason why some people don't put themselves out there, because they are afraid of those comments.
Yeah.
So all the time that trolling exists, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you can be the troll to perpetuate that trolling exists, and the very fact that trolling exists is the thing that stops you going to do the thing you want to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's true, isn't it? Do you feel? How do you feel about it all? Like, you're pretty more robust. I mean, mind you, you've been in the police, so I imagine you're quite robust anyway. So people going, oh, you're fucking shit, mate.
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes it affects me, sometimes it doesn't. Right? The thing that affects me the most is like, I don't mind if you formulate the opinion that I'm shit. Like that does not bother me.
No.
It's the fact that you think that you can say that to me.
Yeah.
That's what annoys me. Oh, it's almost like I don't mind if that's your opinion. It's the lack of respect that I can't tolerate. And sometimes I'll comment underneath them and I'll put my gig list on there and I'll go, pick one of them and come tell me.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come and say it to my face, dickhead.
Yeah. Yeah. Pick one of them dates, buy a ticket and come tell me.
Whenever it's always someone that hasn't got their face as their avatar.
Yeah.
And every time, whenever anyone like that comments, I always say, listen, this is the one and only time I'm going to interact with you, you fucking coward. All right? Yeah. Otherwise, until you change your avatar to your face and we can see what you look like, you don't get a say in this. So jog on, knobhead. Yeah. And I think, you wouldn't walk up to someone in the street and go, you're fucking shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Your T-shirt makes you look like a right bell end. All right.
Those glasses, mate. What the fuck do you think you are? Yeah, just... Yeah. It's fun, isn't it? I don't know. But are you in a good place, though? All in all, do you think?
Yeah, generally I am, yeah. A medicated space, but it's still good.
Oh, are you? Are you on the old pills?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel? Did it make you feel better? Or?
Yeah, when I started taking them, so basically that wobble I had with the daughters when I started taking them.
Right.
And then I upped the dosage when I left the job. No. It's just suddenly like, oh, this is stressful. Oh, no. But yeah, they help me just like, because without them, I just have this constant impending feeling of doom.
Okay.
Just like, oh God, it's all going to go wrong. Like, what is the point? You know, you're just constantly sighing to lift this weight off your chest. Like, oh God, I felt like that a lot. So, yeah, but otherwise, I still obviously get stressed out because I'm a middle-aged man now, and if you don't suddenly have random outbursts that you just want to smash your kitchen up, then I don't really know how you're coping in life at all. But
I know what you mean. There's been a few times I've just been stood in the kitchen just going fuck. I don't even know why.
Yeah. We're getting a new kitchen fitted in a few months. I keep asking the missus, when's that going to be? Because at one point I'm just going to kick the fuck out of it.
Oh mate, do you know what? When I remember years ago when we bought a house, I was with my ex-wife, and we were the lads were putting an extension on the back of it, and then the kitchen was getting moved out into the extension. So the day that we didn't need the kitchen anymore, it'd all been moved out the back. I went all guns blazing, kicking the doors off, smashing the oh mate, there's nothing better. If you've got tiles in your kitchen, when you're getting them off the wall, talk about therapy, mate.
Yeah, got floor tiles as well. I lift them out. It's gonna be
go for it. Hell for leather, mate.
Yeah.
I want to see you video that. I want to see that online.
Yeah, I'll put it online, and then there'll be loads of comments underneath. You hold sledgehammer like an absolute nonce.
You fucking prick. That's not how you get tiles off the wall, dickhead.
Yeah. Have you noticed he's got fucking wrong protective goggles on? Fucking pussy.
You don't do that in Crocs, you cunt. Sorry about the C word there, everybody. Comes up now and again. Mike, this has been amazing, mate. I knew you'd be good chat.
Cheers, man. It's been lovely. It's been nice to be on.
Oh, it's been lovely, mate. Where can we find you?
Oh Christ! I've got a few gigs coming up. I need to update my website. So, but
don't we all, mate? Don't we all?
Eventually, I will. So,
we wonder why no one comes to see us.
Yeah.
Don't know where we
check
are.
my website out. That's what I do. I check my website out. Come and say it to my face, and they go, "I will." You ain't got no fucking dates up.
This is 2018.
I am. Me and Simon Lomas are opening for Bill Bailey the Friday and Saturday.
Oh
yeah. So
get in, mate.
On one of Wayne Beace's gigs. So we're doing Walsall Arena Friday, and then wherever we are Saturday. Let's see. I haven't looked past it.
I'm the same, mate. I know day to day. I'll go day to day gigs wise, and But what about online? Where can we find you on the socials?
So you got, I'm on Twitter. So if you want to get involved in police debate or just me being a general bellend, Twitter is at Mr. Mike Cox. Instagram's probably the best one, comedy_Mike. I've got a Facebook page, but no one ever really uses anymore. Or my website, www.mikecoxcomedy.com.
Nice one. Did you get, I remember you did you supported Clinton Baptiste,
Yes.
and then there was that story. I think you met Chris Moyles,
Yeah.
and he took the piss out your name.
He tried to.
He tried to, and you just looked. You just stared at him like
Yeah.
you'd never heard it before.
Yeah.
You just went, Mike Cox. And he went,
Is that your real name? I just went, yeah. Do something with that, Chris.
Yeah. I do remember being at school with a guy called Mark Hunt, and when you,
Close, isn't
yeah, and he used to get stick. And then one day he came into school and he was 8 foot tall, and no one took the piss again. Yeah, he just kind of sprouted, and everyone's like, okay.
I
Yeah.
got interviewed by an online magazine or paper from Chicago, and they were basically just interviewing well-known people called Mike Cox, or say well-known people who were in the public eye, whatever. So there was like this, there was a doctor, an actor, me as a comedian, and there was someone else, and all about our experiences of being called Mike Cox. Like, as a kid, never came up.
No.
Just hard, like, no, Cox I got a bit of banter for,
Yeah.
but like nothing that, not that you would consider hurtful or bullying or anything like that, and nothing to do with the fact that it's like my Cox. It's not even really a sentence anyway, is it?
No, of course it's not.
You
Yeah.
have to really work hard to make that into something, and so it never really happened. These poor people in America got rinsed. Like, their stories were, that every day was relentless at high school. It's like, of course it was. You went to American high school, shitholes.
Yeah, you fucking right.
Yeah.
I do remember there was a kid at my school called Martin Cox, and we were running around, and then someone shouted out, "Quickly, everyone touch Cox," and I just fell on the floor. What I meant was touch Martin, but we were in an all-boys school. Honestly, I think I laughed for a whole day.
Yeah, I'm going to use it actually in my name at one point when I'm big enough. Eventually, people, please subscribe to my website and all that type of thing. And I get a big enough fan base. Like Lady Gaga calls them. I don't know what she calls them actually. The monsters or whatever.
Oh yeah.
My fans are going to be called the Mike Cox Massive.
Mate, oh my God, excellent way to finish. Well done, mate. Cheers, mate. Thanks,
Cheers, mate. See you later.
Insane in the membrane.